Good morning. I'm really enjoying our time together this week, going through Psalm 23. Once again, I'm sharing some thoughts from Psalm 23 from the voice version. And so if you haven't had a chance this week yet, try to spend a few minutes going online to a website like BibleGateway.com and just plug in Psalm 23 and look up some different versions and see which one really speaks to you and encourages you for where you're at right now. Today we're going to be looking at verse 4 of Psalm 23. Very, very powerful part of Psalm 23 because it addresses something that we all have to face throughout life that we definitely do not want to face without God's help. So verse 4 reads, "Even in the unending shadow of death's darkness, I am not overcome by fear, because you are with me in those dark moments. Near with your protection and guidance, I am comforted." And I love that because it's just a way that God steps into the darkness and the grieving of death, whether you've just lost somebody that you love recently, or maybe even you're dealing with a horrible disease and you're not sure how long you're going to live for. That God is with you during those times. Because the truth of the matter is, when God created us, it was never so that our lives would come to an end. We were designed to live forever. So when death happens around us or even to us, it's not natural. And so there's this dark grieving that we have to go through when somebody that we love dies. But God is such an awesome God, such a loving God, that even though we are trapped in lives of sin for now, He is great enough to be able to step into that with His light, with His healing love, and with His power. And the best way to really experience that is to find scriptures like this one, Psalm 23, verse 4, and to pray those words, those comforting promises of God into our hearts to give us His light and His love that will carry us through. So the parts of this verse that I really love is that God says that He's with us in those dark moments. Sometimes we have to go through hard things. We have to go through the grieving process, but we are not alone in that. God promises to be with us. He tells us not to fear. We don't have to be afraid. He will get us through to the other side. So take some time today as you practice praying scripture, reading through scripture. Do something to keep the scripture in front of you today, whether you write it out or you put it on your phone somewhere where you can set an alarm where it will go off throughout the day to remind you, just to realize that no matter how dark it is, God is with us in those moments. And through His presence, we can claim His comfort and His healing in our lives.